Welcome back to the Uncle Bob Crypto Podcast, number 27. I'm here with Kirill. You met him way back when in one of my earlier podcasts. It is still the most popular podcast. We're looking forward to hearing everything he's got to say today. He's going to tell us about the problems in crypto. Welcome to the show.
Oh, yeah, Uncle Bob. Nice to see you again. Oh, thank you. I was just warming up.
Yeah. Well, Kirill, it's great to see you again. And thanks for coming back on the show. You're still, to date, my most popular guest.
Uncle Bob, likewise, I'm glad to be here again. So a cool weekend, just chilling out with my family. Got the batteries refilled, and tomorrow into the grind, a new week, and yeah.
Cool. Well, listen, I remember before you were telling us about Hive Terminal and how exciting a project that was. So guys, if you want to check out that episode again, I'll be leaving the link in the description underneath, and I'll also leave some information on Hive Terminal. But today we're going to be talking about something a little bit different. And it's a subject that I've been covering in some previous episodes with Amen Gunsere and even to a point with Richard Olson. From Luca, and he was saying, we're looking at the problems with crypto, the problems in the space right now. And you were telling me just off camera there that you're looking for a project that you can trust in. And at the moment, you're not sure who to trust. You're not sure whether to trust the exchanges anymore, you know, to leave your money on there because you might lose it. You don't know if you can trust our industry leaders right now and what they're saying, people who like Justin Sun and Roger Ver and the A-listers of the space. And you're even bringing it to trust. You're not sure whether to trust the media. I mean, who do we trust and how do we solve this problem?
To start with, I would like to say that lykke is a Danish word, and it means happiness. So it's a good initiative and a very cool name, I would say, for an exchange. Yeah, as you told those questions, as you raised them, it's very important for the people to wake up. So no one will take care of you. You should think critically yourself and develop this ability of critical thinking. It's not like do not trust anyone, but you have to analyze things and not just to follow. And I would like that crypto community would be a more, not even educated, I would say, but a little bit more conscious and more, how to say, more responsible. Because finally, in our lives, it's not all about money. I can tell you that it's such a pleasure just to give compared to gain all the time. So as for the leaders in top 10 of CoinMarketCap, possibly they are doing an amazing job in terms of like social media presence and stuff like that. But as for their projects, I don't know.
Well, you're not the only person who thinks this. I spoke to Amen Gunsere from Ava Labs just a few days ago, and he thinks exactly the same. He said when people talk to him about a new cryptocurrency, he immediately thinks it's either a scam or it holds no interest for him at all. 95% of all cryptocurrencies, he said, are just
Yeah.
copycats. Do you think the
Hmm.
same?
Um, I would say yeah. I would say yes, and I'm not an expert, but I have this feeling that in 5 years, maybe, yeah, in 5 or 10 years, yeah, in 10 years period, there will be uh, a totally different picture on the landscape, and it will be interesting to see.
What does it look like in your mind, or can you, if you can give us an image,
Um,
what can you see moving forward?
I believe that there will be projects with strong fundamentals. Richard Olson, whose interview I watched yesterday, and another brilliant CEO of the lady, her name is Olga Feldmeyer from Smart Valor. They have a vision that maybe in 5-10 years, a lot of stuff. And actually, the leader of Bitpanda, Eric Demur. So he thinks that in 5-10 years, a lot of assets will be tokenized. And people, I believe that it's our task, like for those who deliver some content, it should be more educational, but easy to digest. That's the main issue. Like if you ask me, for example, just I give a real little life example, like how does the electricity work? I won't tell you. So I have zero knowledge, but I know how to switch on the light. Yeah. And it's enough for me. And we like the crypto community, and especially these crypto leaders, influencers and the leaders of opinions, they should be closer to the people.
Yeah.
This is what I think really.
It's interesting. It's still a very, very young asset class. And hopefully this week I'm going to be speaking to Charlie Shrem, who was
Oh,
right there at the beginning. And these
yeah,
guys were very, very young, and they still are very young in
yeah,
many cases.
yeah.
I mean, Vitalik is not even 30 yet.
Yeah,
Charlie Shrem is only 30.
yeah.
You know, he set up his first business when he was in high school, but that was only 10 years ago. So no, 10, 12 years ago. Um, so it's still very, very young, and it's going to take time to mature. You were talking to me earlier about exchanges, and one thing that worries you is that people trust these exchanges with their money, to leave their money on these exchanges. Why does that worry you specifically?
We had a lot of scam examples, and in this regard, I think that the future is for hybrid exchanges, like and DEX, like decentralized and hybrid. In terms of some exchanges are um, half decentralized, half centralized. So you can look yourself into next exchange they are developing, and let's see. It's quite an interesting project, I would say. But again, uh, if we talk about so maybe there is a wrong timing, and Binance is like the leader of the race, but they
It's the
should
most trusted, I guess.
know how to say. You know, it's there is such a name, such a brand for CZ. He created it in a
He has.
beautiful way, I would say. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, and they are they are doing unbelievably financially. I wrote an article last year. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what their last quarter's profits were, but last year during the bear market,
Uh-huh.
they posted $186 million in profit for a quarter. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, they are
Yeah.
literally. I actually tweeted it out a few weeks ago. CZ is printing money. And what I didn't realize is that when you get an IEO,
Mm-hmm.
in order to get an IEO on Binance, you need to give away a certain amount of collateral to them. So so then what they can do in exchange for that is give you the market makers, pump the price. They you know, when people are looking for investment advice, they're looking for the whisper in the ear before it goes live. They already have the setup. They are just literally making money, but making money. Maybe that isn't such a bad thing. Somebody's got to do it. CZ seems like he has the right attitude, but you still seem worried.
No, isn't it a conflict of interest? You know, I can see it quite clearly. You provide a platform for IEO, and you know exactly, because you have such a very trusted brand, yeah? Like you're holding out in this event, EIO, and it's always like at least 5 weeks. And of course, people FOMO, that's it. So, but at the same time, you should keep in mind that somebody buys low and sells in a proper time, and somebody loses a lot of money because they go in and then have to either accept the loss or just. But it's life. It's life. You know, it's life, and.
Well, we've spent some time talking about what is wrong with crypto. We all know that crypto comes with that kind of territory. It's full of dodginess. It's like the Wild West. Still, it's like the Wild West.
Yeah.
But give us a couple of projects you think you talked about earlier about thinking critically, being conscious, being responsible. Tell me some companies that you think are thinking critically, that are thinking consciously, that are thinking responsibly.
I can name you one Australian project, AgriChain. During the ICO, they were called Blockgrain, but I like the CEO, Kyle Dietrich. He's not that public, I mean, not appearing so much in some media stuff, and the token, it probably went to zero, but still what I know, and I follow their, for example, Telegram channel, and there are only a few people, but they still believe in it. And the idea is that a lot of things happen wrong with our supply food chains, and blockchain seems to be a very, how to say, proper technology to reduce the losses, because the population is growing, and quite dramatically, and a lot of people don't have access to just basic meals, you know. And it's the thing that, for example, worries me. It worries me, like, and this AgriChain, they're trying to solve this issue. And I know that they have a lot of projects in India, for example, where we know like a huge population, but maybe 700 million people eat once a day, and it's just a plate of rice, you know, that's it. Another good project, and again, like, the CEO is a native Russian guy, Sergei Sergeyenko, but he immigrated to Australia and done a brilliant business, and now he develops a lot of platforms. I believe that maybe you can invite him for your next show. He'll tell more in more details, but what he and his team are trying to do is to revolutionize in a good way the labor market. Like, if you're a freelancer, like you place your skills at a platform, you get some, let's say, orders, you do the job, and maybe there are some options, like things automatically, like you get your reward, it automatically goes to authorities, like to some pension fund, to taxes, and it's done automatically. So it gives a lot of transparency to the society. And
interesting.
Yeah. So he has labor X, time X, it's in the exchange, and I think a couple of more projects they are working at. And for example, there is a country of Bangladesh, and people still do not have any pension funds. And he told like, okay, for example, I may fail everything in my life, but if we manage to do an efficient system of pensions, let's say in such a country like Bangladesh, with again a huge population of two, 200 million people, I would spend my life not in vain. And this is what we need, like more people of that kind who try to not do this pump dump game, but for those who can really improve our lives.
Absolutely.
And those kind of projects, they will stay.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
This is what I believe in.
Can I be honest with you? I was speaking about this with my friend today, exactly the same.
Yeah.
Looking for big thinkers, all the words that you said, critical thinking, conscious thinking, responsible, transparent.
Yeah.
Just being, excuse my language, being freaking honest and open, because that's ultimately why Satoshi wrote the white paper.
Yeah. Did you read it, by the way?
I haven't read it. I can't remember it word for word.
Yeah. I have never read. I can tell you honestly, I have never read. But the entire idea
was to set us free.
Yeah, it was to set us free. But we cannot blame the authorities. We cannot blame those how to say this, rich elite who try to, because it's our fault. It's our own fault that we preferred to waste our time instead of like it's
human nature. Listen, Kirill, it's just as much human nature. Excuse me for, I want to hear your opinion more than mine, but maybe it's just human nature. Just in the same way, 95% of traders get wiped out through their own greed.
Yeah,
that's what essentially what happens in the markets, and it's the patient, the conservative, the risk averse, the intelligent, the smart, the calm trader who, and the one who is organized and planned accordingly, who always wins out. And very much so, it's the same in crypto. Just what Gunsarer said the other day, 95% of projects are copycats, 5%, maybe 5% are really doing something that's important. So maybe it's just the nature, in the same way 95% of businesses or 95% of restaurants will go to the dust, but those 5%, we could be just looking at Darwinism.
It's a natural way of life. I agree with you. Like, you talk to Paddy Stash, yeah? He is a brilliant guy, and his manner is very adorable. I love his energy, I love it. And
Sure.
it attracts a lot of people, let's say so, in a good way. It's funny. It's really like you feel alive when I saw his Fridays. I think it came out on Friday. His tweet with video like roaring.
Yeah, he's got some energy.
You can understand there is a lot of how to say a lot of passion, yeah. And we should try different ways to deliver our ideas to people. And I would prefer if those attempts are done in some nice and funny way. So,
well, we can do it. Let's give it a go. But Kirill, listen, thanks for coming on today. Yeah. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I've got part of the scene falling away behind me, my lighting. But I want to say thank you. You're welcome on any time. And is there anything you want to say before you go today? Where can we find you?
There is no need to find me. I'm just a small guy, but I would like to tell you that as my example, a couple of months ago, I started doing some Dao yoga, some stretching, and some kung fu, and I tend to do it like for over 60 days on each and every day basis, so on a daily basis, and it's incredibly hard. But what I can tell you that I start feeling myself more aware, more conscious, and more responsible. Like the training is a must. And when I just train with some nunchakas, it just clears away some doubts and stuff like that. So my message is just, guys, find some hobby which brings you joy, pleasure, and helps you to switch from this daily rat race. That's it.
Wise words from a wise man. Thank you very much, Kirill.
Thank you.
God
Thank
bless
you.
him. Let's do this again.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.